Okay. So this is SQL Server demo. Okay, then. So, oh. So in this class, mainly we discuss about 3 points. What is this SQL Server? What is the role of SQL Server in real-time projects? And we have to learn this course. Okay, na? Mainly 3. So what is this course SQL Server? And what is the role of SQL Server in projects? And we have to learn this course. Then, and this course includes learning this course. This course includes mainly 2. One is SQL. Another one, what? TSQL. What is SQL stands for? Structured Query Language. Okay. Structured Query Language. And what is T stands for? Transact SQL. So learning SQL Server means learning these 2 languages. One, this is completed. The course is complete. Okay, then. So suppose here, suppose if you, for example, you take Java. After completing Java course, you prepare resume as Java developer, attend interviews. After completing .NET, you prepare resume as .NET developer and attend .NET interviews. So there is only one Java, .NET, Python developer, Java developer, Python developer, .NET developer. But when it comes to this SQL Server, there are 2 roles. One is, there are 2 when it comes to SQL Server. One role is called developer role. One role is called admin role. There are 2. One is developer role, another one admin role. So admin are also called DBA. What is DBA means? Database admins. Database admin, database administrator. So there are 2. Okay, then. But our course mainly focus on what? Our course. This course mainly focus on developer. But I'll give admin, okay, na, basics also. I'll give admin basics. Okay, na? Then. But even though give basics, but still focus on what? Developer. This course is related to developer. Okay, then. So after completing like SQL Server, so then there are 2 roles, developer role, admin role. Okay, then. So this is for freshers. This is for what's it? Experience. Sir, suppose some students what? Sir, I'm learning .NET. What they said for .NET, they said they need one database. In .NET projects, maximum they use SQL Server. That's why I'm coming to this class. Actually, you are interested in .NET, but for .NET development, they said they need SQL Server database. That's why I'm coming to this class. Then for .NET developers, This is enough. This is enough. Okay, na? This developer is enough. You don't need what? Admin part. But sir, not .NET development. I want to develop my career in SQL Server only, not in .NET. I want to develop my career in SQL Server. To develop career in SQL Server, you need both. You need development plus you need admin. So those who wants to develop career in only SQL Server, so you need both development plus admin. Okay, for .NET developers, they need only one developer is enough. But for those who wants to develop career in SQL Server, they need both developer plus admin. Okay, then. So then, okay. Actually, what is this is? What is this SQL Server? Why companies use SQL Server? Okay. Sir, first of all, every organization uses what? Database. Okay. Then every organization uses what, sir? Database. Every company uses what? Database. Then what for companies use database? Okay. Then, so every company uses database. What for companies uses databases? Huh? Why companies? Like you take banks. Every bank maintains what? Database. What for banks maintains database? For storing what? Data. For storing the data. Yes or no? Okay, na? So what data? So every bank maintains database for storing the data. What data? Maximum customers data. What? Customers data. Customers open accounts. When customer open accounts, customer details are stored in database. Customers go to ATM. Customers do the transaction. When customer do the transaction, details are stored in database. Okay. So bank maintains database for storing what? Data? Customers data. You take telecom companies. Jio, Airtel maintains what? Database. What for? For storing the data. What data? Customers data. You take SIM card. When you take SIM card, your details are stored in database. You make a phone call. When you make a phone call, the details are stored in database. Understood? Then. So Amazon maintains what? Database for storing what? Customers data. You registered as a customer. Your details are stored. You place order to buy product. The details are stored in database. Every university maintains what? Database for storing students, faculty, course data. So the main purpose of database is for storing what's it? Data. So what are the other facilities for storing the data? Do you know any other options for storing the data? So one is what? We can store data in what? Variables. We can store data in what? What? Files. We can store data in what? Database. We can store data in variables. We can store data in files. We can store data in what? Databases. In programming languages, you declare something like this: integer a. You know this integer a, then a equals to 10. You're storing the data in a. What is a? Variable. So a is a variable. Then the data stored in variable is not permanent. Not permanent because this data exists up to the program execution. Once program execution is completed, the data stored in the variables are there, gone. This data exists up to the program. Once program execution is completed, the values stored in variables are gone. So that means the data stored in variables is not permanent, and also not what secure. It's not permanent and not secure. But what about the data stored in files? Like you take Excel file, you store data in Excel. So it is permanent or not? Yes. Today you create Excel file. Tomorrow you can work with that file. Yes. So the data stored in files is what? Permanent, but not secure, because files created by one user can be accessed by another user. So you can access my file, I can access your files. So security is not there. Next one, database. Database is also what? Permanent. Data stored in database is temporary, na permanent. Permanent. So the data stored in database is permanent. Plus, and it is also what? Secure. That means you cannot access my database and I cannot access your database. So I created one database. You cannot access my database. And you created one database. I cannot access your database. So database created by one user cannot be accessed by another user. That means there are two, permanent plus also secure. For example, I want to access SQL Server database. Suppose I want to access SQL Server database. Okay. Then, so to access SQL Server database, then to access SQL Server database, I'm trying to connect. I'm trying to connect to SQL Server. Just a minute. Then, oh, let's see. Suppose I'm trying to connect, but when I try to connect, it is asking what? It is asking login and password. So can you access my database? No. You can access if you know my login and password. So I cannot access your database if I know your login and password. So database created by one cannot be accessed by another one. That means if any company wants to store data permanently, and if they want to provide security to the customer data, then they use database. So if any company wants to store data permanently and they want to provide security to the customer data, then they use database. So like example, banks, not only storing the data is important. For bank, what is important is security to the customer data is important. Okay. So I should not access your account and you should not access my account. Then how this can be done? By using what's a database. If they use database, they can provide security at what's a different levels. Okay. Then, okay then. Now, so I just, what I discussed is, just I discussed about this database. So this data is permanent plus secure. But question is, so this is storing the data. Database is storing the data. But how you input the data? If you input the data, then it can store. If you don't input the data, how it can store? Yes or no? Then how to input the data? How to input the data? Okay, for example, see this. Here, I'm just going to, I'm going to one website. Okay, then, like for example, just going to one website. Then, see, create account. What? Just I'm clicking this create account. I want to create account in what? Okay, I want to create account like Gmail account. You create Gmail account, na? Like that. I want to create what's it? Oracle account. Suppose when you want to create account, then what it is asking? It is asking what is your email address, what is the password, country name, job title, phone number, company name, address, city, state, postal code, etc. Then click create account. So your account is created. Yes. But so this is how you input. You input the details here. But what is this is called? You input the details. You enter the details. Whatever the details you enter. So this company maintains a database. In the database, they store your details. User will input the details here and they maintain the database. In the database, they store the details. So what is this is called? What is this is called? No, I'm just asking what is this one? This one is called. What is this is called? By using this, you are input the data. Okay, you can input the data by using this. What is this is called? What is this is called? This is called what's it? UI. What is this is called? UI means user interface. Or you can say what is this is called? Front end. By using that front end, user will input the data. By using this front end, or you can say front end, or you can say UI. By using this UI, you can input the data. Okay, then, and by using the database, you store the data. Input the data using front end, store the data by using database. Or you can say database, or you can say what? Backend. Or you can say backend. Then, but tell me, see, 1 second, how these screens are created? How to create this UI? By using some technologies like what? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, okay, Bootstrap, next one, Angular, next one, React. By using this technologies, you create this UI, you create this front ends. Yes. What these tools are called? UI tools are front end tools. By using this front end tools, you create user interfaces. By using the user interfaces, user will input the data. Okay, na? By using the databases, user will store the data. What are the tools? What are the backend tools? What are the tools used to create database? What are the tools to create the database? Databases are for storing the data. They're called backends. What are the tools for creating the databases? One is what? SQL server. Next, Oracle. Next, MySQL. Next one, PostgreSQL. Next, what's that? MongoDB. So then, so SQL server, Oracle, MySQL, PostgreSQL, MongoDB. What are these? These are all backend tools. What are these technologies are called? Front-end tools. So what are they called? Backend tools. Okay, then. So then, now, okay, now, but if this front-end tool, if this HTML form, let's say you call this as HTML form. So if this HTML form can be connected to database, can we connect this HTML form to database? No. If this HTML form can be connected to database? No, not possible. Okay, na? Is HTML form can be connected to database? No. Then what you need? You need one more. Between these two, you need what's it? one more. HTML form cannot be connected to database. You need one more. What that is? Middleware. What are the middleware? Okay, na? So through middleware, a front end connected to back end. Front end cannot be directly connected to back end. A front end connected to back end through middleware. What is the middleware? One is Java. Next one, .NET, Python. Next one, PHP. Next one, Node.js. So what are these? All these are what's it? Middleware technologies. So all are what? Middleware. Middleware technologies. They connect this front-end application to database. Okay, then. So in this HTML form, you input the data. The data send it to what? Java. Java will send this data to database. HTML form, you input the data send it to what? .NET. .NET will send this data to database. Okay, then. So this is connected to HTML form is connected to middleware, and this middleware is connected to database. So what is this is called? This is called what's it? This whole thing. What is this is called? This is called what's it? Full stack application. This whole thing is called full stack application. For full stack application development. Okay. What is this full stack application includes? That includes what? A front end, a middleware, and a back end. So then now, so if you want to become full stack developer, you need 3. You have to be expert in 3. If you are expert in 3, then you can become full stack developer. Okay. Expert in front end, expert in middleware, expert in database. Sir, I know only SQL server. So can't I get the jobs? Can't I attend the interviews and get the jobs? Yes, you can. Because they require one. They require SQL server developers also. Company requires what? SQL server developers. But if you know only SQL server, chances are less package. Okay. I know only HTML. I know only front end, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I know only this front end. Then can't you get the job? Yes, but chances are less package. If you know all the 3, then chances are more, and package also more package, good package. Okay, then. So now clear. Then so like there are number of students attended what? Oracle course, attended SQL server. Now they have been working as SQL developer, SQL DBA. Okay, na? That is there. But like to get job easily and with good package. So if you know these 3, then it is easy, faster. Because companies expect what's it? What companies expect? Companies expect the one who knows multiple technologies. If you know multiple technologies, so getting job is what? Easy and faster. Okay, na? Then. So at least from freshers, what companies expect? Companies expect 2. What are the 2? OOPS and database. If you know a language related to OOPS, and if you know one database, like either SQL server, MySQL, etc. If you know any, then that is good. Because if you know these 2, okay, OOPS and database knowledge. If you have the OOPS knowledge and if you have the database knowledge, then you can work with any project. So that is why they expect these two from you, freshers. Okay, then. And no. So then, but thing is, sir, but when it comes to, but in this full stack development, okay, sir, in anyone joined as full stack .NET yet? Okay, full stack .NET. Okay, okay, na? Then, ah, so then, so here you see this, but in that, what is my role is? My role is what, sir? My role is then what? Like SQL server. I'll be covering what? SQL server. I'll be covering this course, SQL server. Okay, then. So in your full stack development, okay, I'll be covering this SQL server part. Okay, but see, then, but here when it comes to databases, okay, if you know one database, you can work with other databases. Okay, now if you know one database, you can work with what? Other databases. Like for example, you know SQL server. You can work with what? You can work with what, sir? Oracle. You know SQL server. You can work with what? MySQL. You can work with what? PostgreSQL. Okay. So if you know one database, you can work with other databases. Okay. So that's why in this list, so you'll get a doubt, sir, do I need to learn all this? So do I need to learn all these databases? No, one is enough. Okay. Now, even you can't learn, you can't learn all these databases. Just one database is enough. If you know one database, you can work with other databases. Okay. So suppose, sir, for example, you want to become .NET developer. Then here you learn what? .NET. Here you learn SQL server. Here you learn these three: HTML, CSS, and what's it? JavaScript. You learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, learn .NET, learn SQL server. You want to become Java developer. Then here you learn what? Java. Here you learn what's it? Oracle. Here you learn what? HTML, CSS, JavaScript. HTML, CSS, JavaScript is common, whether it is Java development or .NET. For Java development, database, they use Oracle. For .NET development, they use SQL Server. But here, they are from different companies. SQL Server, Oracle, what's it? They're from different companies. They're different companies, but working is what? Same. Working is same. Like, so if you take SQL Server, this is from what? Microsoft. Okay. Then SQL Server. You take Oracle. Oracle is from Oracle Corp. They're from different companies. What is MySQL? MySQL is also from Oracle Corp. What are the next? Next PostgreSQL. PostgreSQL. This is from company name Postgres Forum Development. Like there is a call DB2. DB2 is from IBM. So all these are databases, but they are from different companies. Companies are different. So mobile phones are there. Okay, na? Different mobile phones, but they are from different companies. But operating is same or different? Same. If you know one mobile phone, how to operate, you can operate other mobile phones. You're also same. Why? Because what the reason is, all these databases, they use a common language. They use one common. What that is? SQL Server uses SQL language. Oracle developers uses what? SQL language. DB2 developers, MySQL developers uses what? SQL language. And DB2 developers uses what? SQL language. And PostgreSQL developers uses what? PostgreSQL developers uses what? SQL language. That means all these developers uses what? SQL language. When language is same, working is also same. When language is different, maybe working is what? Different. Suppose you go to Java, they use a language, Java language. If you go to .NET, they use a language, C#. The language is what? Different. When language is different, Python language is different. So if you know Python, can you work with .NET projects? If you know Python language, can you work with .NET projects? No, because programming is different. If you know .NET, you cannot work with Python projects because programming is what? Different. But when it comes to databases, if you know one database, you can work with what? Other databases, because the reason is language is what? Same. Okay. That is the reason maximum in interviews. Okay, na? Maximum in interviews. So they ask, okay, na? Database knowledge plus SQL knowledge. They ask what? Database knowledge plus SQL knowledge. But which database you know, that is secondary. Whether you know Oracle, whether you know Oracle SQL, or you know SQL Server SQL, or you know MySQL SQL, that is secondary. But what they want database knowledge plus what's that? SQL knowledge. Because they know that if you know one database, you can work with other databases. So understood then. So here, and all these databases are called SQL databases because they use SQL language. That's why these databases are called SQL databases. But there are some databases like they are called, what is the databases are called? No SQL databases. No SQL database. Example, MongoDB. Then another one, what's that? Cassandra. Okay. Then one is MongoDB, another one Cassandra. So what are these? These databases are called NoSQL databases. Okay. Why they are called NoSQL? Why these databases are called SQL? Because they use SQL language. Why they are called NoSQL? Because they don't use SQL language. Okay, na? They don't use what's it? SQL language. Then see, why two? Sir, earlier, some years back, if you take some 10, 15 years back, 10 years back, companies used only one. What that is? Companies used only one. What that is? SQL databases. But nowadays, companies are using what's it? Both SQL plus NoSQL. Companies are using both databases. Some data stored by using this SQL Server Oracle. Some data stored by using NoSQL. Okay, na? Then if you take Facebook application, Facebook uses both. Facebook uses what's it? Facebook. For Facebook, they use SQL, but what Facebook uses MySQL. Facebook uses what's it? MySQL. And Facebook also uses what's it? MongoDB. Facebook uses what? Both databases. Why? What is the reason? Why they use two? The reason is these databases are best for storing structured data. They are good for storing structured data. If the data is structured, then use these databases. And these databases are good for storing unstructured data. They're good for storing unstructured. So these databases are good for storing structured, and these databases are good for storing unstructured. What is structured and unstructured means? Like suppose my data stored in tables. The data is in tables. What is table is? Table is what, sir? Structured. Okay, now table is what? Structured. So SQL, these databases are good. SQL databases are good for storing structured data. Okay, then. But you like, for example, my data is there in what's that? PDFs. The data is there in what? PDFs. The data is there in what? MS Word documents. The data is there in what? Audio, video, images. What are these? Audio, video, images. Then what are these? Unstructured. Okay, na? So PDF, documents, audio, video. What are these? Unstructured. For storing unstructured data, then what is good? No SQL databases are good. Okay. So like, for example, Amazon is there. Amazon wants to analyze last 5 years data. They want to analyze the last 5 years sales data, sales revenue, last 5 years sales revenue. They want to analyze. The data is there in database and the data is there in tables. Then which one they use? Okay, na? SQL databases. They use SQL language. Okay. Then suppose you take police department. Police department is collected some photographs. Okay. Then like what they collected these photographs from various CCTV cameras. Okay. What is that photographs contains? What's her face? So from that photographs, they want to identify who are wearing the mask, who are not wearing the mask. Sorry, who are wearing the helmet, who are not wearing the helmet. Okay, na? They want to identify that. Then what is good? This is good. Okay, na? Because that photographs are what? That photographs are what's it? Unstructured. Okay, then. But earlier, most of the data is what? Structured. So that's why they were using this. But nowadays it is became 60-40. So because of social media platforms are what? Increasing. In social media platforms, what is the most of the type of the data generated? Unstructured. Because you take Facebook. In Facebook, because you go to Facebook, what you upload what? Audio, video, like otherwise text. So then most of the content generated in social media platforms is unstructured. So that is the reason companies are using this. Okay, then. Okay, na? No. Okay, then. So, but then here, see. So I just discussed about what's I just discussed about what this is. SQL server is for what? Sir, if anyone asks you, what is the role of SQL server in application development? Then, SQL server acts as a backend tool. SQL server acts as backend tool. What is the role of HTML, CSS, JavaScript in application development? Acts as what? Front-end tool. So what is the role of SQL server in application development? SQL server acts as backend tool. Okay. HTML, CSS, JavaScript acts as what? Front-end tool. Clear. What .NET acts as? In application development, what .NET acts as? .NET acts as what? Middleware. Okay, then. So, then. So, here actually, by using this SQL server, Okay, na? By using this SQL server, like there are two databases. Actually, databases are two types. One is what? OLTP. Another one, OLAP. What is OLTP stands for? See, there are two types of databases. One database is called OLTP database. What is that is? Online, what's that? Transaction processing. What is OLAP stands for? Online analytical processing. There are two: online transaction processing and online what's that? Analytical processing. Okay, then so oh, so what for companies use this? Okay, now what I'm saying is every company uses two, the OLTP and OLAP. What for companies use this? Companies use this for storing day-to-day transactions. So companies use this for storing what? Day-to-day transactions. Like example, you take bank. What are the day-to-day transactions in banks? So customer go to ATM, customer do money withdrawal, money deposits, money transfer. Okay, na? So where all these transactions are stored, huh? Where all the transactions are stored, OLTP. Okay. So like you go to, for example, you go to Amazon website, you buy a product, you place order to buy product. The details are stored in OLTP. The details are stored in OLTP. Okay. Then, so companies use this for storing day-to-day transactions. And companies use this for what? Companies use this for what, sir? Analysis. If company wants to analyze the data, then they use OLAP. Amazon wants to analyze the last 5 years data, then they use what? OLAP. So one database is for running the business, another database is for to analyze the business. One is for running the business, another is for analyze the business. So earlier, companies focus is only running the business. If business is run, okay. But nowadays, companies are spending money on what's that? Data analysis, business analysis. Okay. Then, so that is the reason new technologies came into the market. Why? Hadoop came into the market earlier. If you take 4-5 years back, Hadoop is there. Hadoop came into the market. Why Hadoop came into the market? Because of Hadoop is for what? Data analysis. Okay. Next one. Why data science came into the market? Okay, na? Why data science? Why Power BI came into the market? Why Tableau came into the market? So what are these? All these are what, sir? Tools. All these tools are used for what? Data analysis. Okay, na? Sir, .NET, Java, okay, na? PHP, etc. .NET, Java, Angular, React, Node.js. The tools are for developing what, sir? They are mainly used for what? Developing OLTP. .NET, Java, those tools are used for developing OLTP. So data science, Power BI, Tableau, etc. They are mainly used for OLTP. Okay, then. So, like 1 second, just I just want to give, because you'll understand what are the benefits of SQL server. Like, see, so this is the database. Let's say this database is what? This database is OLTP database. Okay, OLTP database. This database stores what, sir? Data, day-to-day transactions. But where the data comes from? The data comes from where? They store the data, na? Where the data comes from? Just now we discussed it. User interfaces. That is applications. Like, let's say, for example, this is banking. So this is one ATM application. ATM application. What is this is net banking application. What is this is mobile application. All these are bank applications. So some customers uses what? ATM. Some customers uses net banking. Some customers uses mobile application. So all these applications generates what? Data. This application generates what, sir? Data. You go to net banking, you do some transaction that generates data or not? Yes, you go to ATM, you do the transaction that generates what, sir? Data. So all these applications generate the data. The data stored in what, sir? The data stored in what? OLTP. So data stored in OLTP. Okay. Then, but the data stored in OLTP is not suitable for analysis. The data stored in OLTP is not suitable for analysis. Why? Okay, na? The data stored in OLTP is not suitable for analysis. What is the reason? The reason is, suppose, for example, if I ask who is the best player in cricket, Indian cricket, who is the best player in Indian cricket? Then Virat Kohli. Huh? So, like, can you decide that from last match? Huh? Can we decide that from the last match? No. If you know past 10-15 matches, then you can decide who is the best player. Yes or no? So that cannot be decided only from the last match. That is decided from last 10-15 matches record. If you have, then you can decide who is the best player. Yes or no? So that means for analysis, what is required is, okay, na? History is required. What is required? History. But what is this database stores? This database stores only current data, but it will not store what's it? Historical data. This database stores only current data, but it will not store historical data. But for analysis, what is required? History is required. Okay. Then what they do, what industry did, then every day, so they copied the data from OLTP to what's it? OLAP. They copied the data from OLTP to OLAP. Okay. Copy the data from OLTP to OLAP. Okay, na? So every day, regularly copy the data from what's it? OLTP database to OLAP database. Okay. And the copying the data from OLTP to OLAP, what that process is called? That process is called ETL process. What that process is called? ETL. What is E means? E means extract, T means transform, L means load. E means extract, T means transform, L means load. That means extract the data from OLTP, transform the data suitable for analysis. Transform the data. Transforming means converting. Convert the data suitable for analysis. Once transformation is completed, then load the data into OLAP. Extract the data from OLTP. Transform the data suitable for analysis. Once completed, load the data into what? OLAP. What that is called? ETL process. Once the data loaded into OLAP, then what they do? They use this data for what, sir? They use this data for what? Okay, na? They use it for analysis. They use this for analysis. Analysis means something like this. Analysis means something like this. This is called analysis. You know what this is? Huh? What this is? Graph. Or you can like this. Then what this is called? pie chart. Okay. Then, then something like this. Okay. Now, so next, then that's all. What is this is complete. What's it? End to end. What this is? End to end. Okay. So then these applications generate the data. The data stored in what? OLTP. The data stored in OLTP is not suitable for analysis. Then they copy this data to OLAP suitable for analysis. Once data is loaded into OLAP, then use it for what? Analysis. Okay. Then, so now, understood? Then, so here, what are the tools used here? Here, what are the tools used here? Then, for developing these applications, what are the tools used? For developing these applications, what tools are used? For developing these applications, net banking application. To develop these applications, they use some tools. Like example, Java, next one, .NET, or Python, etc. They use some technologies for developing this what's it? Applications. So then for developing this type of applications, they use Java, HTML, Java, okay, or what? .NET, then what's it? Python, PHP, etc. They use some technologies. Then how this database is maintained? How OLTP database is maintained? The OLTP database is created by using what? SQL Server. Okay, na? How this database is maintained? By using SQL Server. So just now I said here, to maintain the database, we use these softwares. Okay, then SQL Server or what? Oracle, etc. Okay, then next one. How this is done? ETL. How ETL is done? How ETL is done? For ETL also, they use some what? Tools. For ETL also, they use some tools. Okay, what are the tools? Like one tool is what's it? Informatica. One tool is what? SSIS, SQL Server Integration Service. What is SSIS stands for? SQL Server Integration Service. Okay, next one. Another one, what? ADF, ADB, Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Bricks, Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Bricks. So there also what? What are these? What are these? Like another one, Talent. What are these? All these are tools. What is these tools are called? ETL tools. What the main purpose of these tools? Copying data from OLTP to OLAP. Okay, these tools are mainly used for copying from one database to another database. So then next, once data is copied to, then so use it for what's it? Analysis. How to analyze? By using Power BI, Tableau, like Python. You can use Python for analysis. Okay, so that is the reason. What is my point is, if you know SQL Server, you can be part of any of this application. You can be part of what's it? See, maximum in any company you take, maximum projects are two, either OLTP or OLAP, either OLTP application development or maximum data analysis projects. Okay, then so if you are strong in SQL Server, you can be part of any development. Either you can be part of OLTP development or you can be part of what's it? OLAP. Suppose if you know .NET, okay, you know only .NET, then you can be part of only OLTP. If you know Power BI, then you can be part of only OLAP development, OLAP projects. But if you know SQL Server, then you can be part of both, because both requires what's it? SQL Server. OLTP projects, they require SQL Server developers. OLAP project also they require what? SQL Server developers. So both projects requires what? SQL Server developers. Okay, na? So that is the reason database is most important. Okay, then. So, sir, earlier, like students will come to Amirpet, then they learn, they simply join what's that? Java, .NET, like that. Okay, na? Then attend the interviews because they got only one option, that is web development. Okay, na? But nowadays there are like what? Data analysis is also one of the like career platform. Not only web development, this mobile application, not only application development. So data analysis is also one of the career platform. So one can develop career in what's that? Data analysis. Okay. Then for data analysis, what technologies you require? For web development, what technologies you learn? For web development, what technologies you learn? You learn what? HTML, SQL Server, .NET or Java, like that. Yes or no? For data analysis, okay, if you want to become a data analyst, okay, then what are the technologies? What? First, start with what? SQL. Next one, what's it? Python. Next one, data science. That's it. SQL, Python, data science. Okay, then. So if you know this, then you can become what? You can develop your career in what's that? Data analysis. So like one is data analyst. Okay. What are the roles in data analysis? Data analyst, senior data analyst. Next one, data what? Engineer. Next one, data what's that? Scientist. Okay. Scientist, data scientist. So like, see, first you can become data analyst. After getting some experience, you can become what? Senior data analyst. After become some experience, after gaining some experience, then you can become engineer. After some experience, data scientist. Then so these are the like the different opportunities here. Okay, then still has seen so many like sorry, I've seen so many. Okay, na? Without knowing this, also they're working as what's it? Data analyst. What is that is? They know only one. Huh? Not SQL, not Python. Without knowing these three. Okay, now only one. What that is? Excel. Okay. They know only Excel. So I'll show some number of what? Okay, number of in like real time. So they know only Excel, but working as what's that? Data analyst with good package. Okay, then. Okay. But if you have these skills, then definitely what's it? Suppose I know you know only Excel, then like you'll be what? Okay, you cannot go beyond some. Okay, na? Then development. Okay, so there will be a limitation. Okay, na? But if you know these skills, then you can extend. You can go to any level. Okay, then. So that's all. Just I just want to give what is this course. and what is the role of SQL Server in development. Okay, then if you know SQL Server, like you can, how you can, okay, you can be part of like OLTP plus you can be part of OLAP development. I just want to give some brief introduction to this. Okay, now then, so if you have any doubts, then you can ask me. Okay, now just a regular class will start from tomorrow. Okay, then first 2 days, okay, I'll take introduction. Okay, now once it is completed, then we'll start what? SQL Server. Because before we start SQL Server, you need some basics, you need some introduction part. So I'll take introduction, not many days, just 2 days or 3 days. Then once it is completed, then I'll start SQL Server. That means from Monday, we'll start SQL Server. But tomorrow, we'll start introduction part. Okay, then. So this notes, because today is demo, so I just not given any notes, but in a regular class, okay, you can, if you want, you can write the notes. Otherwise, I'll add these notes to the Google class. Okay, then. So they create Google class. After creating the Google class, every day I'll upload the notes and I'll upload the material also. Okay, then. So there is a material. I'll upload that material and everyday class notes will be uploaded. So you can go through that notes. So any doubts you can ask. Then Hadoop is a framework. Pavani, it is a framework. It is a data analysis framework. ETL stands for E means extract. T means transform. L means load. Load. See, OLTP is for storing day-to-day operations. OLAP is for analysis. So companies maintains OLTP for storing day-to-day operations. They use OLAP for analysis. So tomorrow, Ranjit, tomorrow. Okay. So today's demo class, regular class starts from tomorrow. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, 2 months. 2 months. Yes. Oh. 11. Oh. 11 to actually 11 to 1 actually, but it starts 11:10 every day, 11:05, 11:10. I'll take up to 12:45 because next 15 minutes I'll spend it for doubts, online students or offline. Okay. Na? Yeah. Oh. 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 Mm. Oh. See, like if you go to companies, okay, na? In companies, okay, like they also give training on SQL. If you join in any project, they give the training on SQL, but their training will not be enough to do the projects. But here it is experience level. Okay, now you'll get the knowledge what experience. Suppose if a person joined in company after 2 or 3 years, whatever the experience he gains, the same experience he'll get by coming to this class. Huh? 2 months, 2 months, 60 days. Yes. 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 And what do you want to take based on that? Huh? Power BI. So first attend 20 days here. Okay, na? 20 days. Then you can start parallelly. Okay. Okay. Okay then. Okay. Then. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Yes. There is no like what relation. Okay, na? Then you can take parallelly. No problem. Okay, na? 2 months. 2 months. Yes. 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 Sheikh Mujahid. Sheikh Mujahid. Okay. Then certificate may be given, but you have to ask Naresh people about the certificate. Okay, na? Then so then no problem. See, because Ajam, you can attend this SQL server and .NET parallelly, no problem. Yes, then Ramya, yes, this is enough. Malik, yes, SQL server Oracle almost all same. Malik, SQL server Oracle almost same. Sir, not major difference, boss. Okay, na? Then not major difference. Chetan, not major difference. There is no major difference between these two. One second, just a minute. Oh. See, Radhakant Das, admin will be like what? Admin is not decided. Admin will be decided. Okay, now once admin is fixed, then I'll share the number. Parallel, you can attend SQL Server and Power BI. But better if you know SQL, then learning Power BI will be good after completing SQL. So for certificate, please contact admins. Okay, then. See, this is admin number. 1 second. I'm sharing the admin number. Then I'm sharing for any like non-technical related questions. Please, you can contact admin. See, it is not SQL Chaitanya. It is not related to SQL. It is not related to NoSQL. It is related to databases. There are two types of databases. In this course, you learn like how to create the database, how to store the data, how to update the data, how to delete the data, how to display the data, how to present the data to the users. Okay. So you'll be learning the various database related issues.
Hi, sir. I have a query. Can I ask? Sharmash this side.
I given admin number.
No. Actually, I
Mullah.
don't have.
Okay, na? I given the admin number. Please contact admin. Yes. Sridhar, that there are two different databases. Maximum companies use both OLTP, OLAP. One is for day-to-day operations, another for analysis. In work ఇది last one. Check చేయండి కావద్దు. See, I didn't say most of the companies using NoSQL. Companies are also using NoSQL. That is what I said. Okay, na? Then. So because in I do one thing, I'll give some introduction to NoSQL also. After completing SQL Server, I'll just give the introduction to NoSQL. That introduction will be enough. Okay. Then. Speaker's problem. Job name, ETL developer, anything, ETL developer, ETL developer. Okay. Power BI developer, Tableau developer. Okay, na? వర్క్ అవుతున్నాయా? సో ప్రాబ్లం ఇక్కడ స్పీకర్స్ ప్రాబ్లం అయితే లేదు.
Hi Vijay.
దాన్ని ఎక్కడ ఇంక్రీజ్ చేయాలి? సౌండ్ ఎట్లా ఇంక్రీజ్ చేయాలి?
Hi Vijay, can you hear me?
ఓకే.
Hello. Hello. Hi Vijay, can you hear me?
ఎస్. యా.
Yeah, hi sir. Sir, I have only one question here.
Okay.
Actually, I just really want to understand, like, after completing this course and all the contents, whatever we are having with this course,
Okay.
I just need to understand. I really want to make my career as an SQL developer. Okay.
యా.
So, is that would be sufficient, this entire program for me, like this SQL course? Or because I do not want to go for the business analyst or data analyst role, I am looking for the SQL developer. So
ఓకే.
does it help me, sir?
డెఫినెట్లీ. బట్ SQL server, yes, SQL server developer, that's how this
Okay.
course is enough.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay, guys, if any question you can ask me. Like if there is no question, then we'll. Ramya, so if it is testing, better to learn SQL server. Better learn SQL server, because in testing, in most of the projects, they use SQL server only. Okay. learn this course. Okay then. Okay, guys. Oh.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, what about ETL, sir?
Oh.
Hello.
Oh.
Yes. And
Hello.
Yes.
Ravi.
Sir, ETL, what about the ETL? Sir, ETL గురించి చెప్తారా?
Huh?
ETL గురించి సార్.
Oh. Oh.
ఒకసారి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తారా?
ETL, that is extract, transform, load. So usually applications generate the data. The data is loaded into, the data is copied to OLTP. But
Yes, sir.
the data stored in OLTP is not suitable for analysis. Since the data, whatever the data is loaded into OLTP is not suitable for analysis. So they convert the data suitable for analysis and load the data into OLAP and use it for analysis. The process of copying the data from OLTP to OLAP, that is called ETL process.
ఓకే, మధ్యవర్తి ఉంటారు.
Oh. Okay then. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay, then. So, okay, we'll continue this tomorrow, same time. Bye.